Welcome to Ring in the Week. This week our guest is Sharon Butts, who is a high school teacher in Richmond Hill and co-founder of Unity in the Community, an organization that we work closely with. We will be talking about education and opportunities for students and how to best meet the needs of students. So Sharon, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Sure. So, what do you want us to know? You're right there in the middle of it, teaching our kids, and what do you see as some of the needs and concerns?
One of the biggest things that I see as a problem has to do with the fact that the children or the students or the young people who are on a college track, everything is laid out for them. Everything is good for them. They know that they have options. But the students who are not so academically inclined, the ones who make it through school because they either have to, or they struggle and they're glad to, or a regular classroom is just not their cup of tea. There's not really anything for them. They go through the motions and they get to graduation, and then what? Some of them are not prepared for technical school. They're not prepared for um, internships or anything like that because they have no skills. Everything is academically structured. And we have fallen deeper and deeper into this hole ever since we were supposed to leave no child behind. And these are the children who were left behind, who are now young people who are still left behind. And, we need to do something about this because it's almost as though we are saying that technical schools are no good. Certificated programs are no good. It's only college, and if you don't go to college, then you're doomed to just whatever you can eke out as far as getting a job is concerned.
Right.
There's nothing about career. There's nothing about entrepreneurial training or anything like that. There's nothing about finding what you're interested in, what excites you, and turning that into a career or into a business that you can run for yourself. There's none of that. And I'm like, what are we going to do for these young people? This is a whole generation that is just muddling through the job force, not necessarily doing anything they want, which is a continuation of what school has been like for them, something that they haven't wanted. I'm always talking about this, always. And so my husband said, you need to talk to Lisa about it. And so
Absolutely. I see that there is a big need. And I know that there are some programs that have been implemented. There are apprenticeship programs in Savannah, but they're not widespread. And we have to make that an option that is a core part of education, particularly at the high school level, maybe even, at the middle school level as well,
right.
starting with what the kids are interested in and moving on from there and helping them to make a career out of it.
Yeah. I taught middle school for 17 years, and I gradually watched as the home ec classes left, as the woodshop classes left, as the auto mechanics classes left, and the different things that were hands-on. There are a lot of our students who are good with the hand-eye coordination. There is nothing there to foster that. There is nothing there that says, you know what, this is a good career path for you. And you can make more than a decent living. A lot of them make more than teachers make. But there's no training, there's no preparation, there's nothing to move them into that as though it is something that's valuable.
I agree with you. We have to start looking at people, and particularly students, as individuals and seeing how to best meet their needs. And that will be a collaborative effort because we can do this also with corporations and other businesses. They can partner with schools and provide programs to go directly from graduating from high school into their company. There are so many opportunities also having mentors, leaders, teaching kids how to maybe start their own business and how to be entrepreneurs. There are so many options that are available, and kids just need to have the opportunities and be led along the way.
Right, because most of them have no idea that those opportunities are even there.
Right.
And quite often The larger companies are looking for the ones that have that college degree behind them. But if you don't have that and you're left out in the cold, you have a lot of talent that is going to waste. You don't have the expertise because the door hasn't been opened for you to get any of that training. And that's why we need to start letting people in these larger companies and these mentorships and things like that understand that not necessarily are the A students the only ones that you need to look at. There are many students, many of us who have struggled through certain aspects of academic world, but thrived in other areas. When I was in school, I struggled and struggled and struggled with geometry. Yet, when I was out of school and as an adult, I was designing clothing and had to use geometry, and it was a piece of cake. But it's that hands-on, it's that practical use of it, and that's one of those things that never gets transferred.
Right. And I would agree that we have to have this collaborative effort where everyone contributes what they can contribute. Thinking specifically of labor unions. Labor unions could be tapping into education and bringing people into the unions, training them in these high-paying jobs, and really building their own strength as well by investing in our kids.
Right. And we need to take the stigma off of not going to college. If you don't go to a 4-year college, then you're just not quite up to where everybody should be. That's not true. That's not true at all. 4-year college is not meant for everybody. 2-year college is not meant for everybody. College, period, is not meant for everybody. But that does not mean that you are a drudge on society, that you have nothing to offer society. But society needs to offer something to you so you can be viable.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And I have a story from my own personal life. I have a college degree. I have a bachelor's degree. And when I was looking for work here in Georgia, I had the experience of being a corrections officer and working with anti-recidivism and so on. But I couldn't find a job here. My husband was away at basic training, and I was applying for all different jobs. And the one job I got was at Dollar Tree as a cashier. And the way I got that job, that minimum wage job, is by leaving out the fact that I had a college degree.
Yeah. Isn't that, and that's terrible. And that comes into the category of you're overqualified.
Yeah.
For what?
Right. Well, because they want workers that don't have any skills, so they can pay them the least amount of wages.
But they're not willing to train those people who could possibly do it, but did not have the college education. So there's that catch-22.
Right.
It's like if you have nothing to fall back on, then you're out in the cold. If you have that college degree, at least you have the option of saying, okay, I didn't get a college degree. When you don't need to, but if you don't have it and everything is saying that you need it, at least if you have some kind of training, you can say, yes, but I have worked in this for this many years. I have this person that I can put on my resume that I worked under or I trained under. But most of our children, most of our young people in high school, as they're graduating, they don't have any of that.
Right.
And that's, to me, that's doing them a disservice. The society, I think, is failing them as far as helping them to be productive members of the community, members of society, and people who see themselves with the future.
Absolutely. And I would also bring this back to what is always at the core of every need we have in society, and that's money. We, as our schools, our public schools, are having to do more and more with less and less. They don't have the resources to focus on meeting the needs of kids and teaching them everything that will give them the opportunities they need to succeed in life. So we have to invest money in teachers and these programs, and we really have to strengthen our public school system to meet the needs of kids.
And volunteerism is important.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, thank you. Hopefully you'll come back, because I know we have a lot of things to talk about, many different topics.
Absolutely.
But it's been very educational to talk about this topic.
And thank you for giving me an opportunity to voice my concerns.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.